This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. Today's discussion is the Fed cuts rates plus five other stories we're following. Thank you for listening to us on the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. We try and both teach you something every day, entertain you every day. We hope you enjoy it. So here's the Fed. The Fed goes big with a 50 basis point cut in the Fed funds rate. I think many of us expected this to be 25 basis points right now, not 50. Essentially, go big or go home. The Fed goes big. I watch constantly the one-year Treasury rate. That's moved from 5% to 4% almost overnight in terms of what you could get over the last couple of weeks. For a one-year Treasury, it leads people back to starting to look at 2 and 3 and 5-year Treasuries and longer and so forth. But fascinating to watch what's going on in the Treasury bond market in reaction to the Fed. Second, the market is soaring today as investors digest the Fed rate cut. We'll hope that stays throughout the day and keeps on moving in that direction. Stocks were slightly down yesterday. Now it seems as though they're up and moving in the right direction. Third, very similarly, NASDAQ futures jumped 2% this morning as the Fed cut spurred a big rally. We'll see if that holds throughout the day. Fourth, Forbes reports that home sales are struggling. Home sales were their lowest amount the last month, almost on record, with the exception of a couple months of the pandemic. Basically driven by interest rates that have been pretty high, people scared with the economic concerns to buy homes, and a lot more. So home sales overall struggling, reports Forbes. And there's also a lack of inventory, too. So a lot of things that go into it. Fifth, Mark Cuban. And who doesn't love Mark Cuban? He says that billionaires are a product of the American dream. People should start scoffing or trying to take down billionaires. Says that they are a product of boundless opportunity, and people should take pride in creating wealth as the money flows back into society, creates jobs, creates businesses, and does a lot more. His take on people becoming billionaires and not being so targeted is demonic because they've gotten so rich. Sixth, finally, another story of interest. Trump median technology dropped 13% yesterday. Currently, the various polls that we watch show Trump about 2 to 3 points behind Kamala Harris. In the popular vote, those are averages we watch on 270 to win and 538, shaping up to be a really big and interesting race this fall. Only about 50 days away or so. What a fascinating race. Thank you for listening to this version of the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. We'll be right back with you with some PE news, some other news, and other things to listen to a little bit later today. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast.